what time zone. I just realized I didn't put time zone, but I don't know. Come on, come on. Yep, I'm in the wrong section. Besides, I don't even know how many people are on. View. There we go. Now I can see comments. Oh, let me. Okay. Did I mess up? I don't know. I see myself so in one person. Um, that one person could be anybody. Hello, hello, hello. Glad you guys are making it in. Um, Now my announcement saying that I was going to do a 8 p.m. live session. I also put a little jest basically. So if anybody saw the notice, you know what I'm talking about. Um, Drinking a cup of apple cinnamon tea. It helps me relax and go to sleep. Hello, Miss Gaskin. Um, Brenda. Uh, I was hoping Miss Nelly would make it, but if she doesn't, that's fine. Everybody has their own things to do in life. Um, and if you see me stop talking and write and look like I'm writing, it's because my brain is going, you need to try to do this tomorrow. You need to try to do that tomorrow. Um, so forgive me for that because my brain is already thinking about tomorrow, and I'm like, well, I know I need to do this and I need to do that, and I've already got one thing on my docket. Brenda from PA. Um, haven't seen you in a while, or at least my brain doesn't know that I've seen you last week or whatever it was you were here. Um, but yeah, with all the projects and all the things going on around here lately, I have been trying to remember everything that I'm doing or supposed to be doing. So forgive me. Hello, Amy. Amy. I keep on saying your name wrong. One day it's anime, another day it's Amy. I don't know. But I've got. Oops. I've got all things going on in my brain, and sometimes I get a chance to catch it and go, "Oh yeah, I need to do that." Um, so I try to remember to write it down. I would love to be able to just carry around a pad of paper or something like that to jot down my thoughts, basically. I used to have one. I don't know where it is now. And most of the notebooks I do have right now are big, and they're being used for other things. So I need to find like a smaller one, like maybe one of those like scratch pads or whatever they call them that they sell for three for a buck 50 or three for a buck 25, a Dollar Tree, Dollar General. I used to have a bunch of those because I'd take them to work with me to write down like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this, or this needs to be refilled, or trying to keep everything stocked up in the display counter, or sometimes at night, and we usually wait until it starts to slow down, is to stock our cold cases out in the general walk area. Um, so, you know, I use those quite a lot and quite quickly. Oh, okay. Oops. That and I got to take some. Well, when I go to take myself some time to myself, I need to fix up my office a little bit. We kind of briefly talked about some of the things that we're trying to do um, out in the house, the whole house. And it's kind of funny because two rooms that need to be worked on was never put on the list of things to do, and that was our bedroom and this office space. So, um, I could, Brenda, but I'm so old fashioned. I'm still doing paper and pen. Um, I don't know if it's just the way I am or what, because um, technology sometimes causes me some issues, and then I end up going, where did I leave those notes? It's where's my, and my brain goes, where's that pad of paper? I don't think about doing it on the phone all the time, but yeah, I should get used to it because I carry my phone just about everywhere. Hello, Michelle. Hope you're having a good day. Di, you're lucky to have a pool. I still want a pool because I love swimming. It's just pool certain time of the day in the sunlight do not agree with me. So it's like either I'd be swimming early in the morning or late in the evening time before the sun goes down. I learned from living in Arizona and having a pool not to be in the pool between 11 a.m. and 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon because that's when the sun is at its highest point and can easily give you a sunburn, especially someone like me with fair skin. I mean, I can put on 1,000 layers of the best sunscreen there is out there and still end up getting burned. Um, so, oh, it's just a 3 foot. Okay, hey, as long as you enjoyed it. Ah, Nellie's here. Um, hello, Becky. Let's see here. Um, if you have questions about Jerry, you need to go to Jerry to ask him. I do not talk about Jerry on my lives. Um, it's one of my many. It's one of the three rules I have. No talking about Jerry. No talking about economics, and no talking about politics. So, please, if you have questions about Jerry, go to Jerry. Um, everything in Jonesville right now is kind of tired, sore, postnasal drip, which is causing like the postnasal drip will like build up in my throat, and I end up hacking up junk. Um, but otherwise, I am trying to work on things slowly but surely. Um, hello, Candy. Uh, oh man, that reminds me of some of my one of my old song lists, and I think it was done by the Bangles. I like, geez, I like candy, or I want candy. That's what it is. I want candy. But anyhow, sorry. Uh, that's my brain right now. It's just kind of like, yeah. Um, yeah. I was about to say, didn't you have an operation not too long ago? Di, you had something going on where you couldn't do certain things. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm I'm apologetic that I can't remember a lot of things, but there's so much going through my brain lately. It's just like, who said that? Um, but um, um, sorry, I can't. Something for. Um, to be honest with you, because of my ADHD and other mental issues, it's not that I don't think there will ever be a day that the projects are done, but I try to keep myself busy, so I'm always doing something, whether it's a project or a new project or creating a project or finishing a project or working on a project. I never know. I've lived with this all my life, and I'm just like, you know what? As long as I'm not like going insane or losing my brain, I don't know. I just live my life as best as I can, and if I'm happy, I'm happy. Um, Good to see you too, Eclipse. The Archies, the Archies. I'm not sure who the Archies were. I'd have to look at my phone that's got my playlist on it and tell you who it was. Um, but I've listened to so many different kinds of music that I don't remember the names of the artists, um, unless it's something more recent that I listen to a lot of, which is like there is well, there's my Nordic people, which is Tyr and Skid, and then there's Peyton Parrish, who does a lot of Viking type music or cover music for some of the Disney movies. Um, so yeah, um, yeah. Knee replacement. I couldn't remember what it was, Diane. Um, Beach towel. What's up, Mister Henson? How? Well, like I was saying earlier, between mental clutter and trying to get all these different things done and um, backache and whatnot. Actually, right now everything's pretty good. I got a good nap earlier because I was tired. I mean, I don't know what it was, but after the morning live, I just felt like a zombie and said I need a nap. And my wife let me sleep for almost 4 hours, which I did not want to sleep that long, but I guess I needed it because according to her, I slept like a baby. Um, um, I don't know if Kickin's blocked. Or KK is blocked. I wish I'd see Kickin. Haven't seen her in a while. Of course, with summer solstice coming up, she might be prepping for solstice events. Pickleball. When did you come in? Because I don't see you right now. Oh, there you are. Um, Trying to follow. Most of the projects I'm working on, Indian Boy, is just basically like clean up and rearranging. And since we are basically staying here for um, 6 months to a year to see if everything goes smoothly, there are certain changes we're making to the house to try to, well, we're splitting the house, is what it is. Is we're gonna put in a faux doorway between the kitchen and what we call our living room right now. We may be knocking down this wall because this wall behind me is a faux wall. This used to be one giant room. Um, so there's those projects, but I'd rather have projects to do than sit around twiddling my thumb going, okay, what am I doing? The problem with me and projects is, so my Margaret, my problem with projects is I get so many of them that I want to do or so many plans for different projects. And my brain goes, okay, where do we start? If I don't have a start point and I don't have any kind of like, how do I put it? Um, I don't even know how to put it. Inspiration or people to, hey, let's start this project or let's finish this project or anything like that. Um, so, you know, um, Viking easy listening music. I wouldn't consider Viking music easy listening because it can get hardcore, it can get guttural. Um, Skeeter, which not Skeeter, but Skald. Skeeter is a yogurt. Skald is a musical group. It also means Skelds back in the old day were like your soothsayers or your people who keep the history of of the people, and they would sing or poetry or they would make poetic music dealing with the gods or heroic events or even heroes of the people. And they sing it mostly in Scandinavian or Old Norse. So you either have to be like semi familiar with words to understand, or you're just going to be like, okay, this is a good mellow beat. But theater, theater is hard rock. It's and they do it in English. Um, you can actually look them up on Amazon Music. Uh, they're, to spell their name properly is Tyr, um, and it's pronounced theater. Um, some of it's good, some of it's like, oh wow, that's a little harsh, but they're good. They're good. I think they're good. Um, so, you know what? I don't know. They are on a material with a particular type of um, I guess you call it paint or something like that. Um, but since they've never been dirty enough to put through a wash because I just use them as tapestries. Some people use them as like put them on a table or something like that, but I use them more as wall hangings. And all I have to do every so often is just take them off the wall and dust them off, and they're good to go. But I'm pretty sure they can be put through the wash if you decide to do that. Um, but I have to go through my paperwork and whatnot to find their information um, to see what I think it's not really a polyester. It's more like a type of acrylic. I think. Um, Hello, Sydney. Um, Sydney. I have a cousin by the name of Sydney. She lives in. Well, right now, I don't know if she's done with college or what, but she's been on a road trip or something like that with her mom. Latest information was to New York, and I was like, enjoy. I got three cousins that if I could, I would spoil them rotten. They're second cousins. They're my cousin Philip's kids, and um, they're real good. I mean, the two girls out of the three kids are smart. I mean, Sydney's really smart and whatnot, but she's very outgoing, and because of her age, she likes to party and go have fun. Her younger sister, Riley, thank you. Um, you might remember. Did you give this to me? My Viking blood. So Viking blood runs through my veins. It's one of many nice T-shirts I have. Some of them I got from viewers like Nelly. Some of them I got from my wife. Um, I love. I normally don't talk about it, Jerry, but I want to say that I really love my wife. I mean, she supported me through all these different things I've done, or I figured you did, Nelly. Or like when we first met, I was all into the Native American stuff, and Jerry supported me with that. And then when I got my DNA testing, I found out, how much northeastern northeastern Europe, which is mostly Scandinavia, Germany, and then I've got like the Scots Irish, Wales. Um, Most of the areas that are in my DNA are areas that the Nordic people the Vikings, which is an occupation, um, when they invaded Britain at the time, Ireland was the only part of Britain that they did not touch. Or no, not Ireland, Scotland, or maybe I don't remember, but the area in England that they took over was basically controlled for a while, known as the Dane Laws, because the Danish Vikings basically controlled that whole area. So no, I don't remember where I get stuff, but I do. You know, I'm thankful for it. That's for sure. But anyhow, when I started getting into the Nordic books and decor and all that, Jerry supported me. You know, and I love that. You know, yeah, and my cousins, it would be Sydney, then Riley, then Chase. Um, so yeah. Hello, bluegrass. Blech. Excuse me. Sorry. Um, Redhead Storm. Glad y'all came. I'm glad y'all got here. Um, but anyhow, like I was talking about earlier, I mean, there's a lot of projects on my docket, and it's like we finally sat down. Me and Jay finally sat down and said, um, "Well, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to start with this room. We're going to do this room. Then we're going to do this room. Try to prep the area that's going to be mom's for mom, and then do this. Basically different rooms that we have to do. And it's like, okay, let's tackle one room at a time. I don't want to be running all over the place between 5 bedroom, 5, 6 rooms plus living room plus kitchen area. It's just like, no, I got to do it one room at a time. If I have to move one piece of furniture from one room to another, it's the room that that piece of furniture is going to stay in. I'm not trying to move 50 tons of mahogany and hardwood and heavy furniture around. No. Even though I do have furniture movers, but still, lifting that piece of furniture to put a furniture mover underneath it is a royal pain in the butt. But starting tomorrow, I'm like, we got to get this ball rolling because we've got, all the stuff that we want to do. We've got people coming over to visit, and it's going to be a busy summer, which is fine by me. I'd rather stay busy than sitting around doing nothing. Um, you're right, bluegrass. This generation. Oh my God. Um, Not only the generational gap, but it's that hard to communicate. They don't understand where we come from. Yet we're looking at them like, if it wasn't for my generation, you wouldn't have that. You know, but yeah, busy and fun. That's what we're trying to do. Um, I'm not really supposed to say. My mom kind of accidentally said the person's name um, because me and Jerry decided to keep that to ourselves, but that's all right. She comes every so often, summertime. I'm actually waiting until we get everything done, and her sister Janie would come out, but don't know because they've got their own issues and whatnot. Um, but oh yeah, temperature was 89 degrees with humidity making it like 94, 95, something like that. I don't mind summers, but temperatures when they start getting near the upper, when they start getting past 90, it's like, I actually wish I could have, you know, no, 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 bluegrass. The person who's coming next week to visit. Um, so, man, 113 on Thursday. Don't envy you. I hate humidity. It's one of the reasons why I was hoping we would be able to leave Missouri because it's getting too humid here. Bluegrass, you guessed it right. She's coming with two of her grandkids, grandbabies, grandboys. They're not babies anymore. One of them is 10 years old, and I don't know if it's that one or the other one that is 100 in Alabama. Mm. I'm guessing Mona's asleep. Otherwise, I'd be talking to her about the heat. Um, but yeah, so yeah, actually, I would normally not talk about this, but because of um, me being me, um, Lisa told me about one of the grandbabies. One of her grandkids has the same issue I do, basically with ADD, and I am not that I want to like interfere with his current education or whatnot, but I kind of want to watch to see how he reacts um, to certain stimuli in the house. Um, but I haven't seen those kids um, in quite some time, so it's going to be one of the interesting things. But yeah, um, Shield maiden. The reason why I don't like Alabama, it's not just Alabama. It's any state with high humidity. Um, Years ago, I no Debbie. She's not coming up here for anything but a visit. Um, Last time I was down there to see them um, down in Texas, it was muggy, and I was like, I'm staying inside. The only time I got outside is because well, that one time we visited, we went to the Texas Renaissance Fair. So yeah, um, but I am, I'm happy. I'm going to be happy to see him. We also have plans to do a little road trip here ourselves. Um, yeah, You're right. Kids nowadays. I remember watching a little video from Instagram where this girl was complaining about her phone not being charged, and she was basically yelling at her mom to basically be responsible for her phone when this girl could have been responsible for her own phone. And I can't remember the lady's name, but basically what they did is they showed this thing about how, like, in our day, if we were to argue with our parents, we'd get ourselves knocked out or pretty dang close to it. And it was funny. It was funny to me because, like, yeah, because if I did the same thing to my dad or my mom when my dad was alive, yeah, he'd be like, first he would give me a what for, and then he'd be like, if you don't want to be responsible for your own stuff, I'll just take it back and get my money. Of course, back in my days when I was younger, back in the 70s and 80s, we didn't have that kind of money, let alone that kind of technology. It's like, little girl, first off, it wasn't for us Gen Xers. A lot of the stuff that you take advantage of nowadays, like your cell phone and your tablet and your game system and your computer, if it wasn't for us, that stuff wouldn't be out here in the open. And, government would keep it secret. You know, that's why when people sit there and complain about how tough they are and they're not Gen X or before, I'm like, you have no clue how tough it was. First off, you outside and them street lights come on, you're late to get home. You better run to your house. Um, things like that. But we're the ones who basically we're the first generation that did mudding, but it wasn't with a fancy souped up car. It was with our bicycles, riding through the mud puddles. Um, Shoot, it wasn't until early to mid '80s the first games console came out, and that was Pong. Um, let's see here. My first game system that I ever had in my house was Atari. You I was never good at Pac Man. I liked other different other games, but Pac Man I was never good at. But I mean, I've never thought about getting a baby pool in the yard for the dog. I really didn't. I haven't. Um, but yeah, I remember those days. Okay, it's time for bed. You gotta go to school. Had to turn off my lights and put down whatever I was doing, whether it was reading something, which I was not a good reader until after my dad died. Um, but there's a lot of things I achieved after my bad, my father, my dad, my dad passed away. Um, yeah, Frogger. Uh huh. Really? I have to look into that, Diane. Dog pool for the dog. Hmm. Well, yeah. I understand that bluegrass. I mean, pigs do like wallowing in the mud, as they say. It's funny because it's like the way we grew up in the '70s and '80s compared to these kids who are growing up in the late '90s, early 2000s. Um, the millennials and Gen X, not Gen Xers. What are they called? Millennials and I don't know, but it's one of those things where it's just kind of like you don't understand it. We as kids, no, smudge on my glasses. We as kids had it harder than kids nowadays. Because I mean, but the thing with kids nowadays, and maybe this is one of the reasons why I can kind of agree with kids nowadays, is I was not a big social kid. I was not big in society or social events. I was always a kid that sat in the corner and just watched. And the thing is most of us from my generation, Gen Xers, would be like, don't don't piss off this kid because he's a silent one and we don't know what kind of attitude he has. But Gen Z, okay, thank you. Um, you solved Zelda as a kid. I was more into the or RPG type games. In fact, that was one of my biggest things. Well, that was one of my biggest things is when we finally got game consoles. Actually, no, not even game consoles. It was when we first got our first computer, the Trash 80. Some of you might know what that is. Using DOS, and they had floppy disks. And the game that I played the most, before consoles became more interesting, was the old DOS Dungeons and Dragons, the World Champions of Cran, and what was that other D&D type game? I don't remember it off the top of my head because I was more into the Champions of Cran, and I found how to cheat that game. I found how to cheat that game royally. And basically, what it was is when you got to a certain level or you got to a really high level, you can save those characters you made, start the game all over, and bring those characters into the beginning. So instead of starting at level one, you're starting at like level 12, and you're just bashing everything around you. Um, yes, I do cheat when it comes to. If I can find a way to cheat a game, yes, I will. Um, Thankfully, nowadays, these games nowadays that I play, there's very little to no cheating. It's just you got to go in there and what they call farm, which is basically going there, you're at a level one, and you just, everything around you is the same level. So you just start killing everything around you, go out on your quest and kill anything and everything that's in front of you. And you beat the game, you do beat the game, but you didn't cheat. You just, worked harder. You had to work it harder. My father was never into video games, um, not at all. Um, yeah, act like a Viking. Ooh, gotta kill it. My father was not into video games. In fact, I don't think no, we didn't even have any kind of video game system while my dad was alive that I can remember. I was always going over to my friends next door to play video games. Um, Dad didn't. Dad wasn't into pool. He liked card games. I do know that my father and I used to get up early in the morning on Saturdays when they had Saturday morning cartoons. Looney Tunes. That was my dad's favorite cartoon. Looney Tunes. I mean, Bugs Bunny, the Roadrunner, you know. But Dad was more into like card games. He did play some board games when I was younger. He played board games with me. Mm. My dad and I were into checkers. We played like various types of board games, and then when we would go over to my aunt Lee's for holidays, mom, dad, my aunt Lee, and another family member would sit at one of the tables at Aunt Lee's house and play pinochle. I could never get into pinochle, um, but my aunt Lee had a pool table, and that was I loved playing pool. I played pool with my cousins, and I learned how to hook around the 8 ball, trying to get to a different ball into the pocket when they were too close together. I had gotten pretty good at it, and then we moved from Arizona, and no more pool. Of course, that was after my dad died. My dad died, and then by the time then mom and I would be going to my aunt Lee's house for various different things, and they started playing Trivial Pursuit, and my mom loved playing Trivial Pursuit. Unfortunately, I'm not all that great at that. I'm sorry. Knee, hip? I don't understand that question. Um, Elmer Fudd. Um, but yeah, my dad was loved different games. Um, but yeah, not big into video games though. So, uh, my father was the chief cook in the house when he was alive. And because at the time I was a picky kid and so was my mom, we weren't allowed to go into the kitchen while he was cooking because he didn't want anybody to know what was in the food. So if we liked it, it was like, okay, this is something we'll do again. But my father loved cooking. I mean, everybody would be like, why don't you start your own restaurant or something like that? His answer would be because I don't want to cook on demand. He wanted to cook when he wanted to cook. And he didn't want to cook what everybody was asking for. He wanted to cook what he wanted to cook and hope everybody liked it. Um, so I learned cooking by taste, basically. Um, I'm pretty good at it, so nobody's complained yet. Um, Pinball machines. Now, those were my favorite when I was growing up. Get me around a pinball machine and I don't want to say a large supply of quarters because I was bad, but pinball machines were my favorite. The arcade, a lot of different arcade games were good. My favorite ones were either the RPG style. What was it called? Dragon something or other. Dragon Knight or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it was quirky. Um, you got an arcade in your basement. Um, uh, then they came up with those arcade games where you get to sit in it and be like Top Gun, Top Gun, the Star Wars game, you know, simulators basically. I like doing those. In fact, one of my computers at one point in time, I had the jet fighter type of joystick. I played various games that use that, and I think the similar games that don't have that motion, um, I can't handle them because I don't feel what's going on. So, oh, good night, Diane. Um, but yeah, I've been trying. Bluegrass, you said you sent me an email about wow. I looked through all my emails and I couldn't find it. So um, I guess you'll just email the email that's attached to my profile, um, because if you're in the same realm that I'm in, I'll definitely play with you on WoW. I have to set up dates or something like that. But I yeah, it's a Gmail account. My email. It's one of two basically. The other one's an AOL. Shows you how long I've been on the network. You still got AOL? What the heck? We don't use that no more. Well, I do. I think AOL is my first and primary email system. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I met my wife, was through AOL chat rooms back in the day when they had chat rooms. But no, I like playing games and oh yeah, AOL still works. I get most of my mail through AOL. The day AOL email does not work anymore, I might get a little lost because I've been using it so long. You know, but okay, I don't remember. I'll try to look for that because, like I said, my email gets a little screwy sometimes. Come on, pen work. Um, I'm writing that down so I remember that. Otherwise, I will be lost. Okay, that's Nate. All right. But all right, I'll look for it. I mean, might have to go through old mail or something like that because I don't remember seeing it. But I don't know. Um, yeah, no, I have all my I don't memorize any of my passwords on the basically I don't tell the computer to memorize it. I write it down in um, um, password keeper book, little notebook that's for email sites or websites with their or yeah, whatever, coffee with dad. That'd be interesting when your kids grow up. Of course, by then everything might be VR. That VR stuff scares me. I tried VR once at a gamers convention, and this was like pre VR when they were selling the VR bulk rate or by PlayStation, and I was kind of like, what the? Yeah, I was like, no, 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 no. That freaked me out too much. Oh, I see, I see. It happens. It happens. But yeah, it's. Any plans for weekend trips this summer? I don't. Well, might have a trip down to Oklahoma for a day or so, and then back. Probably just a day because I mean, from here to where we're going is like just a couple hours. You know. In fact, I think the last time we went, the round trip was maybe the drive alone was maybe like 4 to 6 hours one way and 4 to 6 hours the other way. Uh, um, I don't know. I just know that the trip was fun and I enjoyed it. This time around, I don't know because we're gonna have the dog with us. Maybe, maybe. It depends on a lot of different things. But old looking me. Hold on a second. All right. I don't know what's going on, but old looking me. I don't know if what I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Mona because the whole thing between Mona and Jerry is not is something I'm not going to talk about because that's between Jerry and her, and I'm not going to get into that stuff. Oop, excuse me. Um, Hello, house. Um, yeah, I think that's how a lot of Gen Xers were. Um, that if you're still outside by the time the light came in, you better start running for home. Um, Sorry, I've got a scratch here, and I'm just trying to keep it from bleeding all over the place. Um, I get these weird scratches. I don't know if it's from the dog or something I did, but we know the truth. We watch videos. Ain't nothing secret on YouTube. That's for sure, bluegrass. Um, Taurus week. Oh, geez, Taurus week. Yeah, we're hearing things about rain and whatnot for the next week or so, and I'm like, that weather report comes out of Springfield, Missouri, which is like about a 2 hour drive from us. So what happens between Springfield and us is a lot of times by the time these suspected storms come to Rolla, it's like trickle, 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 bye bye. Where's the storm? And I wish. Um, wow. How'd you get Lyme's disease in Hartford, Connecticut? That's weird. Fur babies. um, yeah, I love my cat. I've loved my animals. Every animal I've ever had since I was a kid, I've loved them. I can tell you stories that my parents told me about, some of the animals that we had. And I tell you, um, some people sit there and go, "Oh, you abused animals." No, I mean, first off, when you're a baby, you don't know what you're doing. You're just having fun with the animal. Second off, there's a difference between horseplay and abuse. Abuse would be beating the dog all the dang time. Horseplay is you're playing around with your fur baby, and you're doing certain things that some people might be like, "Why are you doing that? Don't you realize that traumatizes your dog?" Oreo, for instance, she loves playing around. She loves horsing around. Um, we have to get her to understand there's a point where you stop horsing around because you're being too rough, especially on the frail skinned humans and whatnot. But there's this thing that we do to Oreo. It's a joke. It's not discipline. It's not physically harming the dog because we're not beating her. But there's this thing that I mean, Jerry has started it. Jerry started it, and she'll be like tapping on Oreo's butt, not to get her to move, not just playing around, and she'll be going spank, 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 spank the butt, spank, spank. I'm like, oh, and the dog loves it. Dog thinks it's great. She'll just lay there and wag her. Sometimes she'll wag her tail. Sometimes she'll just be sitting there like that expression dogs give you that when they're happy. Almost looks like they're smiling. Um, Mom's in bed. Jerry's sitting in her room. She's Jerry's kind of like wiped out, tired type wiped out. The thing is, she was this morning when we did the video, she wasn't doing that great. None of us were doing all that great, because I think sleep wise. But yeah, I'm starting to get tired. Um, yeah, yeah. She was tired and worn out. Oh, every morning, every night. Um, but the only time Oreo gets any kind of discipline, and it's not hitting her, it's a verbal. Verbally we say her name loud and like upset, and she realizes that she done wrong, and but we don't physically hurt our animals. I never have. The only time I actually had to physically hurt an animal was trying to untangle one of my pets from some twine. I can't remember what it was, but she got entangled and stuff. And I've had male and female animals, so I've had. Ooh, God, how many pets have I had in my lifetime? Let's see here. Philippine Islands, there was Pickle, there was Bear. Um, then Arkansas, that I can remember, was two dogs, Tippy and Blackie, and those were. Oh, my thingy turned off. Um, and that was two dogs, and we had two cats, Mork and Mindy. They both ran away. The dogs we had to give away before going to Germany. In Germany, we inherited from one of our military neighbors who was sent back to the Americas on an emergency situation. Gave us their parakeet Herman the German, who was funny as all get out. And then after Germany, we moved back to the States. We had Nutella, who after my dad died, we ended up giving to a rancher. Herman the German, yeah, that was the name of the bird. Um, and then while we were still living in Mesa, Arizona, before and after, now actually after, no, before Dad passed away, we had two more parakeets, Herman and Heidi, and then I had in that house in Mesa after Dad died a gerbil, which I accidentally crushed. And then when we moved from Mesa to Paradise Valley, Arizona, we had the cats. And I had a garter snake. So, we've had a menagerie of pets as I grew up, but I loved them all, you know. So it's been a long line of different pets. I was joking with Mom earlier because I was watching a Instagram video from, I can't remember what zoo it was. I think it was Beijing Zoo, and they had a mother snow leopard and a cub, and the cub was bouncing around and frolicking and whatnot. And I was like, "Hey, Mom, you should get one of these." And she was like, "Yeah, right." And then I flipped to a different video, and it was somebody was showing a chinchilla, which are these nice. They're from South America. They're these nice, look like rabbits with a long tail and no ears. And they were showing how chinchillas clean themselves with this dust bath. And I was like, "Oh, those are cute. Those would be great around the house." Not for Mom. Because they bounce around like a rabbit. They bounce. And it's just like, okay. What happened here? Ram- Ramon. Oh, sorry, I'm catching up. Who's. Okay. I'm sorry I didn't catch whatever that was about somebody in the medical. Somebody needs prayer. Um, Raymond. Um, oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right, there we go. I'll put you on my prayer list. I've actually got a couple of people I know that are needing prayer for family members. Wow, that would, I mean, I have seen so many. There is a gentleman, and I can't remember if he's on Facebook Reels or what, but his title is basically the Deer Whisperer, and he's got deer that literally come into his garage to take tidbits of fruit or vegetable or whatever he's giving the deer. And when he first started, it was like one deer, and then all of a sudden it's like a whole herd of deer, and I'm like, wow. And he puts out like the dried corn that you usually put in bird feeders or squirrel feeders, and he basically literally hands out um, handfuls of the corn. Um, oh crud! I've been on here for an hour. Yeah, I started doing prayer lists a long time ago. I don't even remember exact dates, but it started back before I even met Jerry, and it was like I'd find out who the person is from church because I was going to church at the time, and I would write their name on a piece of paper or something like that, probably the pamphlet from the church, and do my own prayers at home and whatnot. I've actually gotten out of practice. I need to get back to that. Prayers, that is. Prayer lists, I still write their names down and think about them. Um, so, uh, yeah, I don't like seeing anybody else sick, especially since seeing how my father was trussed up, or however you want to put it, while he was in hospital with blood clots before he passed away, because that's basically what took his life was blood clots finally got from his legs up into his lungs, and once it hit his lungs, that was it. You know what I mean? But yeah, we are all Goonies. I love that movie. I haven't watched that movie in a while. I need to sit down and watch that movie with Jerry because Jerry loved that movie too. Sorry, I laughed because I remembered a scene from Goonies and I thought it was funny. Um, but I just Goonies was funny. Um, yeah, she. I will say that Jerry Ann. I normally don't talk about Jerry Ann on my channel, but I mean this is positive energy, positive stuff. So yeah, um, Jerry. I mean, when we found out Jerry had the cancer, and I was devastated. Um, Granted, she had to go to she had to go up to St. Louis to get her leg worked on because it broke on her. And I mean, the whole time she's up in St. Louis, and I every so often I'd be able to go up there to visit her for a while, or for the day. The I mean, the nurses and everybody up there on the ward with her were like ecstatic because she just had such a personality and she wasn't letting this get her down, the whole 9 yards. And she'd come home and I mean, she wasn't letting this bug her. She was not going to let this bring her down. Um, Unfortunately, the last round of chemo um, did a lot of not only physical damage but psychological damage. But she's not letting it, like, I mean, when she's got her energy up, she's up and doing everything she can. Um, so it bugs me how some people will judge other cancer patients by one family member who just basically tanked. Um, so yeah, everybody's different. Some people let it get to them, some people don't. And Jerry's one of those people that don't let it get to him. But anyhow, I digress. Um, yes, you're right about that, bluegrass. Um, uh, I don't consider, well, not that I have a problem with um, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not spirituality, but religion. Um, Jesus is more my brother than my daddy. Um, but yeah, I know what you guys are saying, so I'm not like. Now, did she leave before you broke your leg or after you broke a leg? Um, and I hope she's coming back soon to help you with your needs. Now, did she go there to let you heal up, or God forbid anything else? Um, because I don't think she left purposefully. I think she left to give you your time to heal. But oh man, okay, 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 Debbie, that earns you a timeout because as I said, as I said when I posted my information, I was going to be here at 8 p.m. I basically said leave your negativity at the door, and I am not dealing with people who's going to be negative like that. Um, I'm sorry you got to go, bluegrass. I hope it's not because of people here um, talking schmack. Because get in my eye, freaking gnat. Where'd you come from? Um, but I'm sorry. I'm not gonna deal. I'm not gonna deal with the negative people. I've already said this multiple times. And if people want to like test me, change their name, and try to come back in here, that's fine, Danny. Um, but I don't want you to leave just because of them. I hope you're leaving because um, you need to go. Well, you're an hour ahead of me, so yeah, I can understand you needing to go. I'm actually about ready to sign off myself because I've been on here for an hour, hour five, and I try not to make these too long, especially at nighttime. So I'm going to bid you all a good night. I hope you guys had a good time. Um, It's Sunday, so I might be on here Tuesday if one, if I remember, and two, if I have time. Um, so I will bid you guys a good evening and oh, ouch, bugger. You guys have a good day.